Hey, what's up, and welcome back to 2021. What now? Today I want to talk about gender. I'm calling this episode Gender Bender because I feel like, just like a fender bender, we've crashed into some kind of odd, side, metal piece along the road into a tree, it's all like this, like a fender bender, but it's a gender bender. You know, when I heard recently about the comment that one of our politicians made at the end of a congressional presentation, there was a prayer and it was about amen. And he was so bluntly or evidently trying to please a demographic when he then said amen and a women, trying to, uninformed, not knowing that amen in Latin means, and so it is, at the end of a prayer, right? So it has nothing to do with men, women, that kind of thing. If anything, you'd have to take the man out of woman, and then it would just be woo. So it would just be men and woo, right? If you want to go nutty cakes and really go crazy, why is the term man in the word woman, or women is really the plural of men, men, right? So if you want to go that far, use that one. Don't use amen. Don't be an idiot. Anyway, this is not really about the amen. It's not really about this particular politician who shall be unnamed. It's not about that. What is it about, Roman? Tell us. You white, older, privileged male, as I've been called before. And look, I get it. I'm white. I have my gray hair. I'm older. I look privileged. I perhaps sound privileged. And to a degree, I am privileged. I grew up in Switzerland as a Caucasian European male. And I'm very well aware of the many advantages I've had in life, the many privileges, if you will so call them. But I'm also very well aware of the fact that I was born this way at this time in life. I am currently 50 years old. I have gray hair. I'm still originally from Switzerland. I'm still a European, Caucasian, white male. Am I privileged to a degree? Yes. And I guarantee you that all of us are to a degree. All we have to do is sit down and really find out the things you got to experience that someone else of a different skin color didn't. And soon enough, we'll realize we've all had privileges. The crucial question is, have we abused them? Do we abuse them on a daily basis? And I know for myself, I perhaps have abused some of them in the past, where I just sort of slid by and squeezed by and used my privilege. I don't really remember an incident. I'm sure I could come up with one. But the point is, if one is maliciously, continuously, consciously abusing those privileges, then I think we can start to talk about a privileged, perhaps abusive or racist person. But I just wanted to get that out of the way because I get that a lot when I talk about race or gender. But I'm completely at home, free, comfortable, confident with who I am at the core. So I'm open for feedback. I'm open for, intelligent conversations, not for trolling, not for derogatory bullshit where people are too lazy to actually have a conversation and be open-minded. If you're open-minded, you want to leave a comment, you have something you don't like or whatever, feel free. Please like, subscribe, comment, be part of the conversation. These videos are intended for me to not only fully self-express myself, but also to see if something inspires someone else in an area of life where maybe they're stuck in. Maybe they're like holding on to what I call the banana. They used to catch monkeys in these cages, and there would be an opening just big enough for a monkey hand to go in, and they would put a banana inside. But if the monkey had the banana sort of grabbing it like this, right, like that, then the monkey, being kind of a bar, wouldn't pull out of the cage, wouldn't pull out of that circular opening. And because the monkeys didn't let go of the banana, they would actually get caught. The people that were, hunting those monkeys or set those traps would come, and the monkey would still hold on to the banana, and they got the monkey. So the term holding on to the banana. So let's talk about gender. In general, how do I feel about the whole, LGBTQT, and, there's going to be many letters added. There is, to be honest, right now, probably more sexual orientations or identifications than I actually could name. And it's not about that, right? It's not about knowing all the different, transsexual, bi, lesbian, gay, transgender. There's even, there's now new ones that I'm just not aware of. Like, I haven't heard the terms. I'm not researching into it, right? The bottom line, though, is this. If someone identifies as something, then I feel it's okay for that person to say, you know what, I see the sort of setup of society right now, right? You have the masculine or the male, the female, like let's say in a heterosexual marriage, you have the husband and wife, the man, woman. You may have husband, wife. You may have 3 partners. There's so many variations. But if someone says, you know what, for example, I'm gay and I want to get married. And my own brother is gay, so I can relate to at least that particular demographic more than the other ones, right? And I have lesbian friends and bisexual friends, and I believe one transgender person, personally, right? But let's go with gay for now. So let's say I'm gay and I want to be in a gay marriage. Great. Now, if it comes down to identifying the role of, are you more like the mother in the family or more like the father, right? And I think that's where the issue begins. People are like, well, it shouldn't be called mother, father anymore. There's now even a bill in Congress where they're trying to get rid of those terms. And so it would be called a parent rather than a father, mother, or a child instead of a son, daughter, or a sibling instead of a sister, brother. Look, I get it. I think it's completely and utterly stupid. And here's why. It's not stupid because I don't see why that would actually make someone else, a sexual identity minority, perhaps feel better about who they are, right? I get that. Here's the problem. There is a balanced dance that happens between masculine and feminine energy. And notice how I didn't say male and female or man and woman. There's a balancing act, a dance that the masculine and the feminine energy sort of swirls in, right? And this is the same, this is true for same-sex couples. So if you have a lesbian couple, there's usually one partner who has more masculine traits. And you can look this up further. There's a lot of people that are dealing with this. There's John Wineland, David Data, Rafael Morgan, Brett Jones. These are all people who, in their own right, teach about the masculine, the feminine dance. And they've done it with thousands together, combined probably millions of couples. And there's always that dance in common. Everyone agrees that there is that dance. So let's say you have a gay couple and one of the husbands, if I may call him husband, somebody's going to go like, it's not called a husband anymore. Fine, whatever. But one of the fathers, husbands, right, in the marriage will be a bit more sort of displaying the masculine traits, right? The ability to provide certainty in the family. Perhaps the protector in the family who stands up for something and is more the disciplinary, right, in the family. Those are masculine traits. Doesn't mean that in a straight marriage, the wife, the woman, can't do those things. Of course you can. This is where a lot of people get bent out of shape. Well, are you saying you want us to go back to the 50s where the woman's at home cooking and the man's providing? That's not what we're talking about. That's a simplification, and actually a very sort of shallow, ignorant simplification of the masculine-feminine dance. And that's not what it is all about. Now, the feminine energy is the more nurturing, the more surrender, the more creative energy, right? So my point is, in any relationship, there is that dance. Usually, when two partners are predominantly of the same energy, when two of them are in their masculine or two of them are in their feminine, usually those relationships struggle. because the dance is off. And then because they're each trying to be not better, but more of the masculine, more of the feminine, there's usually this unspoken or this subliminal or subconscious rivalry, right? And so that's why the dance is very important. And while I don't want to go too much into detail here about masculine and feminine, the point I'm making with this whole gender bender that we're going through is I have no problem with someone who is identifying as XYZ sexual orientation or gender role and owns that. But what I have an issue is if that person now is demanding the entire society to treat them like that. Because the fact is, we're human. We're kind of like a cruise ship. We're not a speedboat. It's going to take us a while to pivot and really embrace and, being able to label and name and incorporate, and embrace is the right word, all these different sexual, like these gender identities. It's going to take a while. In the meantime, since you, and I'm speaking to the, hypothetical person who's like, I need to be called this and this and this because I'm not straight, I'm not gay, I'm not bisexual, but I'm this, right? Good for you. Do it. And get us excited about it and educate us. But please do not expect everyone to change their lifestyle and their vocabulary so that you feel comfortable. I understand that it's a struggle, and I know this from my own brother who came out when I was 33 and he was 31. What he went through growing up in Switzerland, being gay, at times bisexual. I'm aware of those struggles, and I celebrate individuals like my brother. They are strong, they're courageous, they're doing their thing, and they're embracing who they love, what they love, right? That's awesome. But my brother never ever expected anyone to treat him differently or for them to recognize what his gender identity is and for them to cater to it and to never ever label him as something else. And I'll tell you why my brother didn't do that. And this is my assumption, is because he's very confident with who he is. He has a sense of self-esteem or self-confidence that he doesn't need to blame others for, quote unquote, treating him wrong. Now, if there was perhaps a hate crime against gays and he would be attacked or something like that, then of course, right, he would speak up. But that hasn't happened. That's not in his field of consciousness. He's not creating that by putting that out there. He's not blaming people who perhaps once in a while make a joke about gay people or, things like that. He's not someone to go like, F you, or how dare you, or you're so inappropriate. You never hear this from my brother because he's very confident with who he is and how he conducts his life. And that's kind of my point. I feel like we're making this big gender debate such a forefront, right? A frontal issue, like center stage, front of the stage. And we have this massive resentment against anyone who doesn't treat us the way we want to be treated, right? And I say that is giving the power away to other people so that they always get to trigger our buttons. And if we stop that, if we just identify with who we are and stay there and speak that truth, but at the same time, don't expect everyone else to change their lives, to change everything that they've known or that they've incorporated in their lives when it comes to gender identity, for them to change it overnight and to completely get it, embrace it, love it, never mess it up again, never mispronounce it, never joke about it again, to expect that, to have that expectation for anyone or for groups or multiple communities or even countries or states, the world. To have that expectation is completely setting yourself up for failure, disappointment, resentment, anger, frustration, jealousy. I mean, you name it, and I see it all the time. Because I have no problem with anyone having any other kind of sexual orientation. Hey, sex is beautiful. If something floats your boat, let it float your boat. Just don't go out to sea to every single other boat and make them wrong for not recognizing your own boat. When your boat is maybe 5 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old. And we're talking, there's a structure in place here in society that's hundreds of years old, thousands of years old, right? It's going to change. Don't worry about it. But right now, to make this gender debate, center stage, front stage, a discussion that sort of is expected to be met with some instant, immediate change of, getting rid of terms like father, mother, husband, wife, daughter, just so that a group of people can feel comfortable that they're included. I'm sorry, but that's bullshit. You got to really reflect on that. If you're in that boat, I'm with you. You should have what you want. You should be who you are. But the expectation of society to completely change everything at the drop of a hat so that you feel comfortable or confident, yeah, that's where I draw the line and say, you know what? No, you're focused on the wrong debate. What else is not working in your own life? I know when I get all wrapped up in these pseudo global stances, as Jordan Peterson calls it, I get all wrapped up in high and mighty about how the world needs to be different and vaccines this and COVID and politics and all that. I come right back to myself and go like, where am I not checking myself here? Where am I being righteous right now? Where am I not actually looking under my own rug? I got shit to clean up in my own life. Let me spend time on that. Let me not go out there on Facebook or out in the real world and make others wrong and point fingers and have, hate troll comments on social media. And it's just not going anywhere. I mean, really, we got to check ourselves, So again, 2021, what now? Again, I bring it back to saying like, we really got to dig in our own backyard for the dirt and clean that up before anything's going to change. And that includes gender roles. The whole debate on gender ain't going to go smoothly until we at home can find peace with ourselves, can clean up our, process and clean up our trauma in the past. We can reconnect to who we really are as source, what freedoms we have to declare who we are, but without the expectation of others to deliver to us what we expect of them, because that's the downfall. And that's why I call it a gender bender. So be well. Until next time, like and subscribe if you like it. Comment, like, dislike, I don't care. Engage. Would love to be engaged. Until next time, let's make this year rock.